Alrighty, day 1614, and everything's pretty much trash. Alright, so obviously back on some more Warframe. It's kind of just mostly been what I've been playing recently. I feel like that was a mouthful. Okay, yes, I have an affinity booster and calendar. That's nice. I think I have one active right now. Yeah, just 45 more minutes left though. I'll just go ahead and get this forma going. So I recently hit LR1 finally, as you can see here. So we're finally into legendary ranks. Still probably got, I don't know, a good 2 or 3 months until I get to LR5, but we'll just see how things go. I've been taking it more casual, so to say. You know, not grinding too much, taking it easy. Been a little burned out, but that's alright. And let's see, I think for now we'll just work on Prime Resurgence, because I still need to finish it. I still need Train, man. What am I missing? Systems, alright. So we'll just work on that as we're talking, because I'm actually playing while talking in this case, instead of doing what I've been doing the past like 2 or 3 videos where I actually just record separate footage and then talk over it. But anyway, past few videos I've made have been relating to Marathon. I did one video where I just play the game, try it out. I did another video where I talk about community feedback, saying what people have said about the game. And then I've also made a video where I talk about why people are hating it so much. And in that video where I talk about why people are hating it, kind of near the end of the video, I talk about like we're not in the era of comebacks. You gotta come out swinging when it comes to game releases, and if you're a live service game, success has to follow the post-launch. So it's like not only do you have to launch very well, you have to keep that momentum going. Because like New World, for example, it launched, it did very well at launch, but then it just did not really follow the post-launch, so it's getting shut down I think next year. And then I kind of talk about my worry with marathons, like yeah, you know, it has to be doing very well. Who knows how things going? We're in the era of not comebacks, you know, instead we're in the era of shutdowns. And then would you look at that? Recently, I think by now it's probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours ago. Haha, funny number. It's just too convenient. But anyway, a few hours ago, the game finally got announced that it's getting shut down. I don't really mean to say finally getting announced, but a shutdown is not really too surprising. Pretty much as soon as the layoffs were announced for the game, it was kind of like, alright, it's over. Because really, you can't have layoffs and expect the game to make a comeback. So I don't really know what they were thinking with that. You could maybe sort of understand it if it's a few layoffs, but the thing is, I think they went from like 100 team size down to 20, which is ridiculous. I am getting lost right now. Where am I going? So I guess Highguard getting shut down just really proves my point about we're not in the era of comebacks. A lot of shareholders, investors, you know, they need their money right away. And thing is, Highguard is not indie. They try to brush off as being indie, but when you're backed by Tencent, one of the most massive, like, I don't know, they're not really game developers, but they're more so like game publishers. So when you're backed by Tencent, you're not indie, man. You can't really receive a $100 million investment from a massive company such as that and still be indie. Also, I don't really think 100 team size is really indie. If you ask me what indie is, I think indie is like maybe 30 at most. I'll have to see if I can find the tweet, but they basically say that like, oh, we're thankful for getting 2 million players, and then, you know, a bunch of PR speak like, oh yeah, people were, I don't know, so excited for the game, so hopeful, and it's like, yeah, not really. I mean, a lot of people are at least curious to try it out, that's for sure. I mean, 100,000 on Steam alone for the first day is not bad by any means. Many game developers would love to have that kind of number, but most of the people just kind of abandoned it because it didn't really have a hook. And the game just, it does not really launch with that much content, which I think is like a big issue with games these days that try to launch as live service. They almost like come out in early access to where they're not even like really a fraction of what the full game should be, what the complete package should be. Hello, violence. Up, he's frozen. Like literally, he's ice cold. Okay, he is. He's stuck. All right, but really, gamers are just tired of like a game launching and then having to wait a year or so to come out. What is happening? Why am I teleporting? Sorry, I'm going all over the place, or I'm losing track of what I'm saying. But anyway, so I guess just quick little recap of what I've tried to say. I know I did not script this video out or anything. I still need to get better at talking off the cuff. What, bro? There's nothing over there. Are we? Wisp needs to come closer. Okay, there we go. Anyway, Highguard launch. It had like over 2 million players try it. They were not interested. Well, not necessarily not interested, but they weren't hooked. They left pretty quickly. I know it seems like the Game Awards situation kind of put them in a bad spot because like they were the last game, which typically the last game revealed at the Game Awards, it has to be, you know, a hitter. It has to be something people are really excited for. And so that put a lot of eyes on Highguard, which again, people were just clowning from the get-go pretty much. As soon as the trailer announced for it was getting clowned on. But at the same time, all that attention led to the game actually being tried. Really, I think if the Highguard was released, or not released, if the trailer for Highguard appeared more so in the middle of the Game Awards, then it probably would have gotten maybe 10,000 players at most on Steam during the launch. So really, being the last spot, it actually allowed for a lot more players to try it out, even if they weren't exactly hyped for it, even if they were kind of clowning on it. Now, I did not play the game, I was not interested in it, but I've watched a little bit of it. It looks like it gets kind of boring quick. Like, it looks like if I were to play it, I could maybe somewhat enjoy my time for maybe 5 hours. And something that kind of annoys me is that they had a full roadmap for the post-launch, and like, just why? Like, this is the problem with live service games. You release with barely any content, and yet you come out with a full roadmap for like almost a year. Like, no one wants to wait for your game to get good. Ideally, for a live service game, it comes out, it's like almost a complete package, or is a complete package, and then you can just keep on adding more to it later on, like, you know, DLC. But the launch of the game is still a full experience. You're not really missing out on anything. You're not like low on content. And Highguard was just not that for most players. There were some players, as with pretty much any game, that, you know, really do actually enjoy the game and kept playing it for probably over 100 hours. But again, launch does not really matter. Well, it's not that launch doesn't matter for a live service game. It's just that it's not the full picture. Because like for Resident Evil Requiem, for example, launch is pretty much all that matters. If the launch is well, if the launch is a success, then the full game is a success. Resident Evil 9 could have, you know, 3 people playing it after a week, and that would not matter because it already made a lot of money during the launch. I bet. I think it peaked at like over 600k on Steam alone. So it's definitely not like people are getting tired of gaming or anything. It's definitely not like people are too negative these days. I do think that people were a bit harsh on Highguard, as in, you know, calling it Concord 2 or 3.0, whatever. Like, I don't think Highguard was necessarily bad. I think it was just boring or alright at best. It was literally like a 5 out of 10. But the thing is, even like a 7 out of 10 for a game does not really cut it these days. Most people kind of associate, you know, 7 out of 10 or lower as being pretty much negative. Do you want to spend money or time on a game that's just a 7 out of 10? Probably not. You know, your money is valuable. You want to spend it on that game that's at least a 9 out of 10, because that's when you know that you're having not a alright experience, you're having a good experience or a great experience. So really, it's like there's not much of a difference between a bad game and an alright game, and Highguard was just alright at best. I also think that one tweet that a developer made did not really help the situation at all. I forget what exactly he said, but he just acted so entitled. He was like, yeah, we deserved a chance, we were just trying to make something fun. And look, you can have good intentions and still fail, right? And also deserving a chance, deserving the game to do well, come on, man. Like, you're not the one to decide that. You are a business, you are giving out a product, so it's up to the customers to decide if you deserve something, if you deserve a chance and opportunity. And really, you did have a chance and opportunity. You had a lot of players try it out on launch, and you messed up that chance and opportunity. Because really, if people were crapping on the trailer and then the game turned out to be good, the game would not have been shut down then. Layoffs would not have happened. People would have been like, oh yeah, this trailer sucks, but the game's actually really good. But that was not the case. So I just really hate when people act entitled like that. Like, yeah, we get it. You put a lot of hard work and, you know, you had good intentions, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the product good? You know, this is not a charity event. This is a business product. And then he talks about like, oh, developers are going to be scared to innovate or won't want to take risk, when like, man, failures have been happening for years now, ever since gaming has started. And again, it's not the gamer's fault. Yeah, that was another thing. He said it's the gamer's fault, and also like YouTubers and streamers. Like, yeah, gamers can make or break a game because that's the customer, and it's not their fault if they don't like it. That's your fault. No, they tasted the sandwich and they said it tasted like crap, and they're not the chef. You are. They didn't make the sandwich. And then also apparently the devs had like a lot of positive feedback and praise during the testing, like, oh, there's no way this game can fail. Well, a little dose of reality will say otherwise. I think another problem problem with live service games these days is that they are competing with other live service games, even if they are in a different genre. Because really, a lot of gamers kind of already have at least a main game. My main game right now is Warframe. For a while, it was Destiny 2. Before that, it was Overwatch actually. And before that, it was Call of Duty. So really, when you launch as a live service game, you need to come out swinging to potentially pull players away from whatever game they're currently maining, which is going to be pretty hard because a lot of people value their time and money. That's what most people value a lot these days, and their family, of course. But I'm talking like individually on their own. Family aside, they value time and money. So they want to spend that time playing what they actually enjoy and playing something that is worth their time. And Highguard was just not that for most people. And also, game companies are still going to continue to innovate and take risks. Like, the good ones will still be succeeding. It's just the ones that want to try to make a quick buck, and they're not going to be doing well. The poor ones fall and the good ones rise, really. And also, their game was just not that innovative, to be honest. It was like this weird mix of like Valorant and Siege and Paladins. And also, I think they wanted to stealth launch similar to Apex Legends, so they were banking on that to account for success. Here's the thing, Apex Legends released in 2019. That is 7 years ago now. That was before COVID. Things are very different these days. And also, Apex Legends, really, it only had Fortnite and PUBG as its competitors. So there really was just not a whole lot of competition for Apex. They were able to kind of go into a space of a higher quality first-person shooter battle royale that, you know, had some abilities. Basically, they were just able to do a first-person kind of hero shooter-esque battle royale. Because Fortnite, it's not first person, it doesn't have like hero elements. In PUBG, its first person does not feel great to everyone. And also, I think PUBG had some issues too, definitely with like cheaters. I don't think it was getting a ton of updates or content back in 2018, 2017. Plus, Apex Legends was Respawn. People knew a lot about Titanfall 2, so they wanted to try out Apex Legends. I know I'm kind of all over the place when talking about this, but sorry, I did not format this video at all. Which actually reminds me that Highguard also had the tag from the makers of Apex Legends and Titanfall. That doesn't really matter if it's not like the full team that actually made Titanfall and Apex Legends, because it was with Back 4 Blood where they had the tag from developers of Left 4 Dead. Thing is, I think there was only like 4 developers in Back 4 Blood that actually worked on Left 4 Dead, and you don't know what the elements are that they actually worked on Left 4 Dead. It could be like, oh, this guy was the UI designer. Oh, this guy designed the menus in Left 4 Dead, you know? Like, those are really just hollow words. They don't mean much in actuality. It only matters if it's the full team that worked on, you know, Apex and Titanfall. It's buzzwords with no meaning. That's what it is. Now, some people are saying that, like, oh, Marathon is Concord 3. I don't think so. So far, Bungie has not shut down a game. Like, even Destiny 1 is still up today. I don't think Marathon will get shut down, but I will not be surprised if layoffs happen, because with the situation Bungie's in, where they had to can 2 or 3 projects and then they had to lay off people twice, and Sony also bought them for $3.6 billion, it's not a good situation to be in. And really, if Marathon is to actually be successful enough to not warrant layoffs, it's probably going to need to be like a bigger success than Arc Raiders. So that's really tough. Like, I know Server Slam, it only got like 140,000 at most, but to be fair, that is the Server Slam. We'll have to actually see how launch goes. And then again, we have to see how post-launch goes. Because, again, it's a live service game. Success cannot just be determined from the launch. It has to follow the post-launch. But yeah, anyway, Highguard's shutting down March 12th now. I think it's kind of ironic that it comes, that it gets announced right after my previous video, where I literally mentioned we're in the era of not having comebacks and instead shutdowns. So really, to just anyone that wants to make a live service game, make sure that you launch with a full package. You also got to market the game a ton. Highguard did not do much marketing, instead wanting to stealth drop it. That's not a good idea. And of course, make sure that the game is good and fun. And really, that's it. Market the game a lot, come out with a full package, have the game be good and fun. Not much else to it. It's not some black magic, you know? But even then, it still is kind of like a hard space to get into, because there's already so many live service games already. And really, you're trying to compete with all of them, because most players already have a main game, so trying to pull a player away from that main game is really tough to do, because you pretty much have to be better than that game. or more enjoyable. Now, some players have multiple main games, sometimes I'll have 2, and really it can be kind of hard to keep up with 2. I can't imagine trying to keep up with 3. Anyway, I feel bad for the players that actually did enjoy Highguard. They're the ones I feel bad for. I do not feel bad for anyone responsible for the decisions that resulted in Highguard being in the state that it was, but I do feel bad for the devs that were not responsible for that. I don't really feel bad for entitled devs though. Anyway, besides that, I finished watching a playthrough of Resident Evil 9 Requiem. The reason why I watched a playthrough on it is because I'm more of a gameplay guy, and Resident Evil gameplay does not interest me too much. I feel like Resident Evil is more so for the story and also just survival. I mean, kind of horror stuff, right? But that's not exactly my cup of tea gameplay wise. So instead, I watched Jev. He just recently finished his playthrough on it. Gotta say, seems like a really good game. I enjoyed watching it. And oh man, the feeling that you get whenever you finish watching a movie or finish a game. Does anyone else get like almost a surreal feeling that just nothing else quite provides? Just that feeling of an adventure being accomplished, being done, that journey being over, finally reaching the end, getting the happy ending. Oh, it's a different feeling, man. Besides that, just been chilling recently, playing some Warframe here and there. Again, not too much, just taking it easy, watching some YouTube, chilling while I can. I'm still not employed anywhere. Everywhere that I apply to really doesn't even respond to me. They don't even like tell me, nah, we're good. They're like, yeah, we ain't telling you nothing. You can take our silence as the answer. And yep, I hear you. That silence is pretty loud. I'm still, really hoping that YouTube can do well. I've recently come up with the idea or it's not really like a new idea, but I've decided to start using my whale profile picture in my thumbnails. I feel like that's a good idea for the long run, because that's kind of like a way of marketing myself. So whenever you see my thumbnail, you know that's by me. You don't have to check who the creator is. It's almost like a watermark, but in a better way, right? Because I don't use face cam, so I can't really like put my face over it. And I also just have fun messing with my whale, doing silly stuff with it. Hello game, are you good? Okay, I see now. I'm gonna have to farm some more Aya over here on Warframe. I'm getting low. It's always such a fun time farming Aya. Totally. I really do wonder what my next main game is going to be. Or that next game that I get addicted to. Because really, it feels like it's been a while since I've been addicted to a different game. Like for years now, it's just kind of been either Warframe or Destiny. For a little bit, it was Marvel Rivals. I think I put about 100 hours into Marvel Rivals. I had fun with my time, but I'm not too into PvP games these days. I kind of just get an itch for it here and there, and then I satisfy that itch, and then I'm good. It's really funny. I think of these video ideas just off the fly, because really, I'm not a content creator. I'm just a YouTuber. I just play games and talk, man. I don't really like plan out like, oh, I gotta have this epic video idea, and then, gotta edit it to extreme degrees to overstimulate everyone that watches. I gotta make sure my content's good. It's like, nah, I just focus on myself, really. I focus on my talking. That is most of my content right now. Just trying to, be a likable person that people like to listen to. I want my YouTube channel to be about me, not about content. So we'll see how that works out. I mean, we're getting somewhat close to 1,000 subscribers, which is a big milestone, because at that point I can become monetized. Now, the amount of money that I would be making is probably not much, to be honest, but hey, it would still at least help out some, because I do have college loans that I need to pay off. So we'll just have to see how things go. Just keep grinding. I did miss a day of uploading, but like 2 or 3 days ago now, which I'm sorry for. I try to, get the grind in, put in the work, try to upload daily, but I do have to recognize that sometimes when I'm just not really feeling it, it's okay to take a day off here and there. But after that day off, it's time to get back to work, because really only sometimes does this feel like work. Like, I think it only feels like work because I'm not getting paid right now, which I know that probably sounds silly, but really kind of doing all this with no profit, no money, it somewhat is work. Because to be honest, I don't really enjoy editing that much. That's like the part where I'm like, oh man, I kind of have fun making my thumbnails, but I think you guys get the idea. Anyway, I think that's about all I've got for now, so just wanted to talk about Highguard, share some of my thoughts on it. I didn't script out my video in this case, so thoughts were all over the place. Gotta work on that over time, and to only work on that, I need to just keep on doing it. So regardless, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in whatever I do next.